Hi everyone, Emma here. I have a beautiful memory wire bracelet that I want to show you how to make. Um, I really am not showing you anything you probably don't already know. This bracelet is, that's the great thing about memory wire. It's more about the creativity and how you put things together. Now, there are some variabilities where you can put sliders in between the beads and things like that. But for today, we're just going to, in a sense, string them on the memory wire. But we are going to start with a loop of these beautiful pink pearls. These are called hot pink metallic, and they were $1.50 on sale. I think they were 50% off from Butterfly Beads, and there's 140 on there. So you get a lot of beads for that price. And again, even at $3, they're still a great price. I've priced them on AliExpress and stuff like that. These are basic pearls. They're glass. The finish is really well done. Now there is some flaking, but only on certain beads. So in certain sizes, and actually even right down to maybe one strand versus all the rest. So I've only come across a few flaking. So there's that. So we have these from Butterfly Beads. This is bicone crystals from AliExpress, and they were super cheap. They had a huge sale before Christmas. I think it ended up being like 50 cents for 100, and one of these is 100. Now I put out this many. I wasn't sure how many we would need. Then I have my memory wire, and you know what? I don't know the measurements. I think I just ordered the cheapest thing they had, which I'm figuring out is probably not the best way to order your memory wire, because now my wrist is super small, so this is about a two and a half, a little less than 2.5. Yeah, probably 2.5 inches. Let's do the centimeters, that way we can get it a little more refined. So it looks like 6 centimeters. Anyway, so we will probably use about 6 loops. So we're going to do 1 loop at the beginning of the pearls, then we're going to do 4 loops of the crystals, and then another loop of the pearls. And what that'll do is it'll create kind of a reverse lace, so it's poofy on the outside and fine and refined on the inside. The other thing I have here is I got these from Shipwreck Beads when they had, and they've had some sales 40 to 60% off. So when they had a sale, I got these ends. They're like one, there's a name for it, bead ends or something. So there's the half drill is what they're called. So the gold ones are bigger, and let me get my measurement. I bought these a long time ago. So, but they have a sale right now, so they might have them still. So this is 5 millimeters for this. So we'll use one of those at the beginning, and we'll most likely turn the memory wire at the end and put some dangles just because. But you could actually we might put a bead end on the other as well, but we'll wait to take it out. But they also had silver ones at the time. These ones are so tiny. I decided that to go with the gold one. This one is 1, 2. It's showing 3, but I bet you it's probably listed as a 2 millimeter, just because the way the hole is. Yeah, it's probably a 3. So anyway, so that's what I have. So we'll put that aside. Oh, and then the last thing is I thought about putting a heart, and I came across these. I was getting ready for the garage sale last night again. I'm having fun doing it. That's why it's taken so long, because I'm like, oh, let me get this, let me get that. So you guys are going to be so excited. It's crazy some of the stuff I'm doing. So I came across these beautiful metallic metal hearts that I got from Jill Wiseman's garage sale. And these were in a grab bag. And actually, I ordered, I think, 3 grab bags. And I think it had to do with like a bead mix. I'm going to leave these in the bag for now so I don't lose them. But so I got 3 different bags, and in each bag, this was so sweet of her. So each bag, she gave me a different color metal, instead of repeating the same one. And she did that with a lot of stuff, which is like crazy kind of organization to be able to do. She is wonderful. I love her so much, and her mother and her little doggy. They're so sweet. So, yeah, so there's silver and rose gold that I got, but we're going to use the gold, I think. So let's start with this. We need our memory wire cutter, and I used to use just an old pair of clippers. And let me see if I have a set that you can see. Here's the one I think I was using. And I don't even know where these probably came from my wife's. I'm trying to do this over the camera arms and stuff. And so I think I got this from my wife's toolbox. Look at how bent this thing is. But anyway, it damages your tools really bad. So these are super cheap. So this is meant for tempered steel, and I know a lot of people know this information already, but my channel has been growing like crazy, and I'm sorry about the camera shake. That's me trying to put my tools back. I think I need to move my tools over so that I'm not reaching over my camera. So my channel's been really expanding, so I want to thank everybody. I wanted to thank my subscribers who've been here from the very beginning. So March was you know what? I'll have to go back and check. It may have been July, now that I think of it. So it's less than a year. And I feel like in a month, we are probably going to be up to 3,000 subscribers. So that's crazy. So thank you to the new subscribers, to the subscribers that hung in there from the very beginning, and everybody in between. So I'm going to use, these are specific for tempered steel, and this is tempered steel. That's why it keeps its shape and doesn't get all soft when you work with it. I got these at Shipwreck Beads when they had their 60% off sale, and I think I ended up paying $5 for them. So definitely worth grabbing. I think the most you'll pay for these is $10. And as far as I can tell, they're all the same. They do the same thing. So let's go ahead and count some loops here. So I'm going to go a bit further just to be sure, and we can always clip the last one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is probably 7, but we'll do it anyway. And I am going to go further than this piece here. And you know what? Again, if memory wire is something you're interested in, there's people out there who have some really amazing videos, tutorials, so definitely take a look at those. This here is mostly for inspiration, give you some ideas. So, and we're going to put this on. Now to put this on, you do have to glue it, and I've used GS Hypo, I've used E6000, and for today I'm going to use the just dollar store crazy glue, and that's just because I want it to dry really quickly. The E6000 I've used with leather bracelets and like attaching leather to stuff. Now I always put some, let me just pull this piece off. Hopefully it doesn't, of course it's going to stick to me. Good, good, good. I've used it to attach leather to class, and there was no way I thought that was going to work. And then the next day when I checked on a bracelet, and there was a lot of space left with the leather and the crimp end, and I was shocked. It actually, I pulled as hard as I could, and it stayed. So the GS or the E6000 really works. So now I probably have too much here. I'm just going to try and move that crazy glue in there a bit. I was going to do this ahead of time. So this is loose, so it would fit a bigger, let me increase this a bit so you can see. I'm just checking my light here. Yeah, it's stuck already. Just want to make sure before I start. So that's amazing. You can't beat that. So I'm wondering maybe we should put a heart at the end and then start. You know, we could intersperse some hearts throughout. So let's take these all out. I forgot I even had these. Oh, you know what? The hearts are different. They're top to bottom. So I don't know. We might use these as dangles. So that's me. So we've got, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I added one. I'm trying to decide. I know what I'm going to do. You have to wait and see. Like 2 whole seconds. Oh, I had to tell you. So I've been making notes of funny stories to tell you. Because I have lots of them, but when I'm kind of on the spot, I forget. So so that's what I was going to do. So that'll look kind of neat. I'm wondering if I do something else here. I'll have to pull this off and do it on the other side, but you'll see. Actually, I kind of like that better than the other, just because it's going to abut to this bead. So we want the top of the heart to go next to the now. You know what I have to test is, it's so funny, this is a simple bracelet and already I'm like making it complicated. Oh, Emma. And I'm thinking I need a rondelle, a rhinestone in between here, but I don't quite know where they all are. The gold ones. So let's just leave it then. What I was going to say is maybe I should... No, that's fine. They look like little butterflies. So the other thing is some of the instructions on these bracelets, it's kind of like the kumihimo? Kumihimo? I don't know if that's how to pronounce it. But there's a weight that you can add to weight it down so that things go down the right way. But I think this is, I just want to do this part here so I see what it looks like. But for the rest, I will add it and then wait till there's a whole bunch and slide it. So this won't be too boring for you. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Oh yeah. Look at that. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice with the pink. Okay, so let's put these guys away. So we probably will do this at the end, I think. And then there's no dangly bits. You can always add charms later. What am I looking for? Oh, the little baggie that it came in. And a bead triangle tray. Just scoop them up. You know what's funny? I didn't know what those triangles were used for. That's how new I am to this thing. Ta-da! Superstar! Okay, so we don't need that now, and we'll put that aside, and we definitely put this aside. I didn't even finish the cap. Oh well. Tis what it is. So let's cut this. Let me use my clippers for this. So this is the one I was talking about. You can kind of see how damaged it is. So now I just use it for whatever. And I think what I'll do is clip it near the knot so I don't have to take them all off. Wow. So that's how bad that I've damaged them. I'm going to have to get my wife to file that a bit and sharpen it. Because she's handy. She's going to kill me. Oh! That was not what I wanted to do. There's the tablet is black on the back, and it must be reflecting a bit of purple into the bead. It probably looks just a darker. My discerning eye, it looks purple. Because I'm an artist. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And we'll move that aside for now. Find the end here. Yeah, so I started making notes in a journal. It's kind of like just a dollar store journal of stories. So this story is I was in nursing school, and I'm trying to think how I got. It must have been in the summer how I got time off from school. But my one of my sisters needed to have surgery, and she had 3 kids, little kids, and her and her husband owned a grocery store. So I think at the time he was a manager of a grocery store. He didn't own it then. But so, he couldn't be home with the kids. And it must have been summer because they weren't in school. Now, they were all pretty young. These are beautiful. Look at this. I'm going to open this up so you can see everything I'm doing here. So, and it was in a different town. So I stayed to take care of the kids. And so not used to having kids and them waking you up first thing in the morning. So I remember waking up one morning, and my niece, who was 3 years old, was standing at the head of the bed, and she's, Aunt Emma, I'm hungry. Can you fix me breakfast? How is that for waking up? I was laughing and just, it was so sweet. She was funny. She had a deep, deep voice. 3 years old, and she had a deep voice like Susan Plachette. She was hilarious, and of course, she would pronounce words like that almost like she was British. May I have breakfast, Mom? Just like, okay, that's better than waking up to a cup of coffee. She was so adorable. They were all 3 just so funny. So one night, my brother-in-law came home from work, and I think the kids might have been in the backyard. It was a fenced-in yard, pretty small, so it was relatively safe to have them. I don't know, they may have been napping, who knows. Whatever, they were safe, so that was, but they weren't in the room. That's the point I'm trying to make. So he says to me, he goes, "Oh, I brought home some sausage. Go ahead and cook it up and for the kids." And he said, "And we'll eat later, right?" So I guess they used to do that. They would eat. I guess it makes sense because if you're feeding kids, your food gets cold. So it's kind of nice to get them fed and get their baths and in bed and that kind of thing. And then you can relax with a beer and eat. So, um, I don't know what he was doing, if he was doing stuff with the car or whatever. So I started cooking, and he came in the house. He might have been getting the rest of the groceries. So he came in the house and he saw I had put barbecue sauce on the sausage. He flipped out. He's like, he grabs the frying pan. I don't know, maybe it was in the oven. I can't remember. It was a long, it's like 40 years ago. So he grabs them and throws them in the sink and starts washing them. And he's like frantic, like not angry with me, but frantic. He's like, "Oh, you can't put anything on their food. They won't eat it. If they see it, if they get one whiff of it, they won't eat it." He's going on. I'm like, okay. Would have been nice to have that information. My sister was all about lists. She had lists of everything. Oh my god, this story's funny. They're all pretty funny. She tells me about my niece, the youngest one, who is 3. And you know what? She may have even been, I don't know why I can't get this one. She may have even been 2 because she was still in the process of being potty trained. And potty training them for peeing is pretty easy at times. It's the other that's a little harder. So I think at the time, all that was available was like Pampers and stuff like that. I mean, there was cloth diapers, but I've gone through cloth diapers with my other nieces and nephews. Let me tell you, that was a lot of fun. That was my job. But anyway, so she made sure to tell me. She said, "Listen, um, when you give her her bath at night, leave the diaper on when you put her in the tub, because as soon as she hits the hot water, she's gonna have a bowel movement." I'm like, no. So I didn't say anything to her, and I decided that I knew better. So needless to say, there was little floaties in the tub. I had to empty the tub, scrub the tub, do the whole bit, and then start the process over again. I'm like, oh my God, lesson learned. I'm sure you folks out there who have children know all about those fun times. So let me see if we can get this to, some of them are a little bit sticky, but I think it's, like I said, so this memory wire is different than the last one I worked with. This is actually stretching, so be careful. It's a good thing I added more. It probably needs to be stretched anyway because my wrist is small. This would fit my wrist. I think for your own wrist it would be a little bigger. This looks so nice. I want to just continue with this. But yeah, so okay, this did cross over a bit more than I would have liked, but I think I'll leave it. I'm kind of like the organic, even though I'm very obsessed with, I'm wondering if I stretched it, it would become, yeah. a little more closer. So I think I'm going to leave it. So that's those guys. We'll put those aside and we'll open these and start loading these on. I love these little bags, but right now with my hand, there's just no way I can do it. And I was actually even saving these bags. I like them so much. I like the kind of crispness and the fact that they're that clear plastic rather than the... So you can see how this... So this would be a negative for this wire. The one that I bought before this, I'll have to look them up and post the links, because this one, that should not do that for memory wire. As far as I know. You guys let me know. So I'm trying to think of other things with... So I've told you this story before about my nephew. It was Christmas and I had wrapped the kids' packages in fabric, their gifts, and then I took a piece of garland that was like those plastic pearls that are pressed onto like a string, and it was basically garland that I got, and from... That was when the dollar stores just came out. I don't even think they were called dollar stores. But yeah, so I wrapped them and tied it in a kind of a bow, so that I thought, you know what, the kids could have that after they unwrap their gifts. They could play with the beads, like the strand, because it's all together, so it was pretty safe for little kids. Unless they started chewing them, but they were old enough not to do that. So anyway, yeah, they came to me and said, "Aunt Emma, can you tie it in a knot so that I can wear it as a necklace?" So I did that for the 3 kids, and they were so happy. Of course, kids, right? They got all kinds of wonderful gifts, and then they were playing with the beads, the garland. So weeks later, my sister, I was talking to her, and she told me that my nephew was getting ready for school. He was he might have been in kindergarten. I think he was only 5. Kindergarten or grade 1. And he got ready for school, came downstairs, and he was wearing his beaded necklace. And my sister was concerned. So you know, the whole situation, this is how I remember it, and I think it's a bit funky, but whatever. It is what it is. She had to explain to him why she didn't want him wearing it to school. So she had her husband explain it. Like, why do you need a different gender to explain something like that? Like, anyway, that's me. Moving along. But I understand what she was doing was for his safety, which is ridiculous for a 5-year-old. But anyway, it happens. So these are looking amazing. So I think we'll wait till they get a bunch on before we move them down, or until we have to, so that it's a surprise. Aren't you glad we kept going? So this elevates these bicones. These are 4mm bicones. So anyway, they explained to him that they were concerned that people would make fun of him. So I think they did really amazing in explaining it to him in that way, so that it wasn't about gender. So they didn't like make a point saying boys don't wear necklaces. It was somebody might want to steal it, or somebody might want to make fun of you, You should save it for at home, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a lot of discussions you can have around that. But anyway, that broke my heart. Since then, I have always made a point to make jewelry for men and boys and support that, because why do we get all the fun? And some of you out there are probably like, no, no, we don't want our husbands getting involved in our beading adventures. They'll realize how much money we're spending. You know what? I am so glad I used gold. I was going to use silver. It probably still looks great on silver, but because these crystals are transparent, you get like this really cool look. It looks like money. It's so beautiful. So I think at the most 2 of these packages, and there's 100 in each of these packages. So if you get a giveaway from me, most likely you end up with some of these, because I went overboard. I bought 1,000 of each color that they had, and then some of them I reordered. They were stunning. And then I got Swarovskis from Peggy, and it was like, okay, I don't want to play with you guys anymore. I'm so glad I'm doing this because it reminds me how beautiful they are. So if you can't afford Swarovskis, definitely buy these Chinese crystals. I don't think you need anything else. These are beautiful. So another thing that I did for my nieces and nephews was puff paint was huge. So I would buy, the size of their t-shirts are so small, so I'd buy white t-shirts for super, super cheap. I can't remember where I bought them. Must have been at Walmart. They're like Jersey brand stuff and just basic white t-shirts. And I did artwork with their names and stuff on with the puff paint. And then I don't know if you're not familiar with puff paint, they still sell it. So you put this kind of thick paint. It comes in a not a tube, but a little jar, like a plastic bottle, and it has a spout, like a skinny spout, so you can direct it and do artwork straight out of it, out of the bottle. So you do that, do whatever you want, write your name, stuff. There's a kitty here. And you let it dry for so many hours. I think I used to let it dry overnight. And then the next day you take and you put like cardboard under, like in between the t-shirt, and then you take a sheet of wax paper, I think, just to protect it might be just parchment paper, to protect your iron. And then you iron, actually I think you iron it with the fabric part touching your iron. I think that's what it is. It's been so long. Anyway, the heat puffs it up like a bubble and a balloon kind of thing. So anyway, I had made t-shirts for them. She said to me, "Oh my gosh, Emma, I'm going to kill you. They won't take them off. I can't wash them." So they've been like, her son was wearing the t-shirt for like a week. I almost said a year, not quite. Oh my god, this is looking amazing. We're going to have to do some more of these, and we'll do some more subtle, like this pink is kind of over the top, but we'll do some like champagne colors with some topaz crystals, bicones. Yeah, that'll look pretty stunning, and we'll add some embellishments and stuff. These are super fun. So, and super fast. This would be like a great, if you were going to a party or something that we're not doing right now, but if you had to do a gift for somebody, you could do really fast. This would be a nice gift for, this is my Martha Stewart coming out in me. This would be a nice hostess gift. Thank you so much for having us over. I should do that for my neighbor. Actually, I do make her bracelets all the time. Both of them. Actually, all three of them. So I have three neighbors, one on each side, and then a couple of doors down is another neighbor. And I don't see her as much because she has problems walking, but her husband is an electrician and he works at the hospital. I think he's in charge of all the campuses of the hospital, like a boss kind of thing. But he works night shift. He comes home and he plows our driveway, fixes stuff for us all the time, has every tool you can imagine. Yeah, he's just incredible. And they have a service dog, and Thor, and the service dog is so amazing. Thor thinks he's in charge of taking care of the whole neighborhood. So he is allowed, like when he's not in the house with my friend, he's allowed to be outside off the leash. So it's usually going to get the mail, and he's trained him to actually carry the mail and stuff like that. But so he's allowed to come and see us when he has like a break time, I guess, because when they're working, they're supposed to be with their person, right? But yeah, he's amazing. So of course, if you're outside in your driveway and Thor's out there getting the mail, needless to say, he comes to visit you. So I've done 2 paintings of him. I did a Santa Claus painting of him. So that they did like I think it was at the pet store where they put a Santa hat on the dog and then do a photograph. So I painted that for her, and then I did a painting of him when he was a puppy. So it's hard to believe he's so big. But yeah, so yeah, I do. But these bracelets are gorgeous for. So let me see if I can. Oh shit. Let's stick with the. So let's move these down and see how they look. So I won't stretch it. These are moving a lot easier than the pearls. Oops, this one there. Stick with the stories of my nieces and nephews. They're gonna be annoyed with me because the next one's really funny. Oh, this is gonna look amazing. So look. So you can imagine then. So we'll do 2 more of this. So yeah, 1 more package, and then a strand of the pearls. So it looks like a cuff bracelet. But yeah, I think this would look a lot nicer with it looks amazing, but it's a little over the top. I think it would look a lot nicer, elegant with the topaz and the champagne. The other thing I saw is a rainbow one, and it wasn't each strand was a different color of the rainbow. It was lines that went across this way on a slant. Each one was different, so you had to stagger them. Pretty cool. That was a Pinterest image. So my sister Sylvia, that's closest to me in age, came to visit me in North Carolina with her 2 daughters. The third daughter was not born yet. So I'm trying to think. They came quite a few times to visit North Carolina. And this time, I think my brother-in-law was there with us. So I'm wondering if they drove. I don't know. Anyway, so we went to Blowing Rock, which is so cool. If you're in North Carolina, you have to check it out. So my niece and I won't say her name. She knows who she is. We'll keep her anonymous. I joke about that anonymous. Our phone says who's calling, and it's like an electronic voice, so it can't pronounce the stuff properly. So when the doctor's office calls, it says, "You have a call from anonymous." Okay. So anyway, I almost said her name. Oh my gosh. She is gonna get me for this. She watches all my videos and I make her, well, I make them all bracelets, but she's wonderful. They're all busy girls. I mean, but she always sends me thank you notes, and I have to say, and I almost said her name again, to thank her for her lovely emails back of thank you, because I'm so busy I sometimes forget. Like if I read it, I have to respond right away, otherwise it doesn't get done. You know, I have like thousands of emails. Part of it is I have to clean up. What I do when I order stuff online is if it's a new store that I'm new to, I will sign up for their email notification and I will sign up an account with them. And sometimes what they do is they send you a coupon code right away. So that's what I do before I actually even look at the site. I mean, I look to see if it's something I'm interested in. So that's a kind of a hint to let you know. And actually, I got a coupon code from somebody. Let me think. And I want, oh, spoiled rotten beads. Let me bring it up for you guys. And for the people in the UK, if you're interested, see if you can use it. It should be transferable. I can't imagine they do a bunch of, I hope I saved it. I'm pretty sure I would have saved it. Yes, here we go. We sent you a gift voucher, it says. Now, if you're signed up with them, you probably got the same thing. So the gift voucher is for £5. And I will add it in the description, but I'll say it out loud. So yeah, this definitely looks like some random one. I don't think it's specific to me. So it's all caps and it's SRB3884-MY. So what I'll do is I'll post that in the link, let you know. And I'm going to shut this down because as soon as I open any apps on my computer, the fan turns on, and I don't want it to make noise while I'm talking to you guys. So we went to Blowing Rock. You thought I was going to forget, and normally I do. There's so many stories I've started and never got finished. So she was being potty trained, and they had to carry her potty everywhere because she wouldn't use a people toilet. A big people toilet. She had to use her potty only. So my sister had her potty in a duffel bag. We're at Blowing Rock. I have pictorial evidence of this. I think I've posted it before on Facebook. She's like, thanks a lot, Anna. Of her, and it was winter, so we were wearing winter coats, and of course Blowing Rock, that's why it's named Blowing Rock. It's cold and blowy on the side of a mountain. And I said blowy, windy. She was sitting on her potty with her winter coat with the fur collar, and oh my god, it's so cute. So hilarious. We had so much fun when they used to come to visit. The one time, she was deathly afraid of bees. I mean, most kids are. We go shopping at Kmart, And I'm going to take her into the bathroom. I'm like, okay. So I'm in the store with the other daughter, and I hear her screaming, like, honestly, like somebody was being massacred. The screaming was incredible. All through the store, people are looking around, looking at each other, like, should we do something? Should we go look for something? Like, what's going on, right? My sister comes out, she's like, there was a bee in the bathroom. She's like freaking out. Oh gosh. I took them camping at Virginia Beach. There's a huge campground at Virginia Beach, and they have like, you can rent trailers as well, like, and like double wides, and they had like different levels of stuff you could rent, and it was close to the Denny's, across the street from Denny's. But I used to go, like, it's basically car camping. When I used to go, it's so funny. I was talking to my wife. She's like, I don't understand that car camping thing. I'm like, well, here's how it works. You get a cooler, you fill it with ice, and then you fill it with beer. That's what car camping's all about. She's like, oh, okay, I get it now. She's like, can't you do that at home? I'm like, no, it's more fun. Lay on the beach and get burnt to a crisp and eat tons of food and drink lots of beer and just chill your ass out. But so I took them camping, my sister and the two girls. So I bought them, I think I bought a tent just for them, now that I think of it. And flashlights. So I made sure that at night we went looking for stuff with the flashlight and showed them frogs and things like that. And, oh, bought them kites. So we had kites at the beach, and bought them all kinds of, like, sun hats and arts and crafts that we could do at the beach, and of course candy and junk food. And oh man, they had so much fun. It was a lot of fun for us too. That was fun. I miss them so much. I wish they lived in the same town. I'm sure they feel the same way. We have so much fun. Oh my god. So the last time I went to visit Toronto, my parents were still alive, and that's probably maybe 5 or 7 years ago. It might be even more. So I decided, and it was for around Christmas, I decided that we were going to bring lobster with us. And at around just before Christmas, you get the lobster fishermen and women, because it was a woman that sold me my lobster. They sell it in the parking lots or on the side of the road. So we just got a big cooler and put ice in it, and had them fill the cooler with live lobster, and then drove to Toronto, which is like 30 hours or more. That was crazy. I used to drive from here to North Carolina often. I used to drive from here to Florida, to the Keys, quite a bit, and no problem driving. We drove to Toronto, and the two of us were so sick. It was like we had severe, severe jet lag. And what we did was we made sure that we took breaks every 2 hours. So we switched off driver every 2 hours. Every two or three, I can't remember. It might have been three. And we made sure that the other person slept during that time, or at least closed their eyes, because the whole point was to be rested so that you could drive. Now, we drove after Christmas, but before New Year's. There was nobody on the road, which you would think is a good thing. It made it worse. Because when you're driving and the drone of the the sound of the car on the road. Well, if there's other cars on the road, you have to stay alert to maneuver around other cars. There's no cars. You fall asleep. Like, it's just nothing there. You know, we were on a major highway. So look at, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Wow. I don't know. Maybe we need more. No, I think that's good enough. But you know what? I'm looking now, and I think maybe I should have done it exactly. So it's kind of not given the effect that I wanted. You know what we could do is we could push this up, clip this, and then take, so let's calculate how many we need to take off to start with. You're probably, I know, I can hear you now. No, don't do it, Emma. Don't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I was this close. This close. This close. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy. Okay, so let's get these guys on. Now my OCD is kicking in. I'm like, okay, I want to get the exact same amount, but really doesn't matter. Here, let's do this. Get an idea how many beads we need. Oh, I did that the last time. So much for bead mat. These are beautiful. I cannot get over these pearls from butterfly beads. So here's what I was saying. There's a bit of chipping of the finish, but for the most part, I haven't had that problem. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. I think they're flinging off because there is so much finish and it's on the line, so it gets hooked. So when we got to Toronto, we had a big dinner with the lobster. And the girls, all three of them, now the two older ones were living with their partners, so they came. I just want to get this all the way through here. It really doesn't matter because it's going to move again. Make sure. I get so preoccupied that things are not in view, so I have to keep looking. So, yeah, so their partners came too. They went nuts over the lobster. Imagine all the lobster you can eat, pretty much. It's super cheap here because we can get it. But this year's been different because of the pandemic. The prices have gone up, so we're getting a lot more export, so there's not a lot left over to sell on the side of the road. So doesn't stop me though. Mother's Day's coming up, and that's usually one of my times when I get lobster because it's close to my birthday. So my wife's like, well, they sell it in the grocery stores for Mother's Day. Just like if you're gonna treat your mother, right? If you don't take her out to dinner, at least get her a lobster. I think that's the idea. So funny, I grew up in Toronto and I am a total seafood addict. But my mother grew up in New Brunswick by the sea. So this is really turning out nice. I hope it comes out nice on the video because it's just phenomenal. We're gonna have to do different colors, I think. And then I'll sell these on the garage sale. Super cheap because you saw that was $1.50 for that strand. 50 cents for each of those, so that's $2.50. The memory wire was probably about $3 for the whole package. Those beads were a couple of dollars for like 20 of them. And so I think if we sold them for like, I'm just going to put a price out there like $10, that would still cover my costs. So yeah, I should make a bunch of these. These are fun, and actually they feel like therapy for my hand without hurting my hand. I started doing some bead weaving and holding the needle. So this is a little better because I don't actually have to, like, holding it this way hurts, but holding it out like that, bringing the thumb back a bit, doesn't hurt. So, oh, I should be checking this. I probably went too far. Oh, look. Look, it's perfect. I need to change the other one. No! I'm putting 2 more. I'm going for it. Okay, and then 2 hearts and the cap. I think that's what we're going to do on this one. This is fun. So yeah, we had a feast of lobster. That was quite the trip. We went to Florida so we drove to Toronto and stayed at my sister's for, I don't know, 5 days maybe. And then we went to, we drove the car to the airport, and there was like a parking lot that you could keep it there. And then we flew to Florida, and we were in Florida for about a week about a week total. And so now I'm just going to make sure everything is down to where it needs to be. And then I think probably right there. That might have been a little short, but we'll see. So yeah, we did like a short, maybe a 5-day cruise. And so the first day we were there, we met a lesbian social group, and then we didn't see them the rest of the cruise. We kept looking for them, but we met, oh, that was sticking to my, I think that was a bit short. Let's see if I can, see what happened to the heart. I wonder if I need to turn it so that there's space. Just don't want to, I kind of want to push it as far in as I can. Should have left more space. I am going to add some more glue to this dot here. There. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. let me get some tweezers here. See if I can pull this. Okay. That should do it. This way so I don't stick my fingers. There. So just having it sit there was long enough to kind of set it up. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. I have to be careful, it's sticking to my hand. So here's the other thing too, is that I didn't do correctly. So maybe in the next one I'll do this. Is that if I ended it at the right spot. So had I done this, I should have ended so these two meet at the same spot. So would have ended this back here. Okay, lesson learned, but it's still beautiful. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Yeah. So I'll work on my memory wire skills here. But you know what? They're so much fun. Who cares? Just enjoy. Let me just make sure there's no loose glue here. And I want to try it on. Ta-da. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's awesome. Goes with my lotus flower. That's pretty. There we go. Take this off. Ta-da! There we go. Take care, everybody, and thanks for watching. There's this lovely memory wire bracelet. Ta-da! More to come.